Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the PlusCast, the Broadway Plus podcast, where we bring your favorite stars to your headphones, to your YouTubes. We love it. My name is Taylor. I'm your host today, and I have the amazing, incredible, show-stopping, brilliant, and talented Orfeh with me today. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am
What time
all
is
good.
it? What's happening? What's going on? What are you doing?
It's 11:10 p.m.
Oh, all right.
here
Okay.
in the sunny United Kingdom. Where are you?
Beautiful.
What time is it?
I'm in the evening hours, the early eve of New York City, and as the time will be changing again this weekend, soon it will be dark at 3 p.m. What's going on? What are we
just
talking about today?
A little podcast. We're going to talk about a bit about Broadway. We'll talk about Legally Blonde. So we will get started. So I want you to just kind of briefly talk us through auditioning for and getting Legally Blonde, rehearsing and originating the role of Paulette. What was that like? How did it come about?
It was a 6.5-week audition process. Rehearsal phase was pretty by the book. I think the lengthy part of the whole thing was the out of town in San Francisco. That felt endless. I feel like I'm actually still there doing the out of town at the Golden Gate Theater. And then the run on Broadway was wonderful. And the MTV pink carpet filming for MTV was a precedent-setting event that we don't get any of the credit for. But other than that, I would say the hardest part was the 6.5-week audition process to get Paulette.
So you spoke about the MTV filming. What was that like? And how does it feel to have that kind of cemented on YouTube and on film, your work as Paulette?
You know, I'm very happy about that. I think that as you and I have discussed off podcasting camera, you know, Legally Blonde became, you know, so iconic, and it became like a thing at the beginning of the pandemic. All of the people who didn't actually get to see it live really found us and discovered us because of the MTV taping, because of the, you know, quality of that taping that happens to live on YouTube. It is unfortunate. And I get all the comments, I get all of it. It is not my fault that it is not on DVD. If it were up to me, not only would it be on DVD, it would be a Netflix special. It would be on every, you know, so often. It would live forever. But I am very, very happy, as I'm sure many people in the cast are, that it exists in the way that it exists. You know, it's unfortunate, again, that, you know, there have been other shows that have come along since that have done that. I don't think people realize that we did that first, and that we did it to great effect and great, you know, as professional as you could possibly get it. And, you know, MTV at that time was still the MTV that we grew up with. You know, it was still a music channel, and, you know, it was a big deal. And I'm just happy and thrilled that a whole new fan base came upon it because of that recording, because of that filming. And it's as good as it gets. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that, you know, it would be any better today doing it. Possibly it might be for the, you know, for the streaming services that it might lend itself to at this point in time. But at the time, it was as good as it gets. So I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant production, and it really shows like the heart and soul of Legally Blonde and all the work you guys put into it. What was it like, you know, getting to film a little bit of The Search for Elle Woods? And did you watch it? Do you remember much about it?
I do remember a lot about it. I do remember a lot of the contestants. I remember when my dearly departed heart, my boo, was on one of the episodes, who is, you know, in heaven now. So I love that he has a moment on that. So if I, you know, need to catch him on that, or Say Yes to the Dress, which people still don't realize, we were the first person to do a wedding for charity with dogs. You know, yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't frivolous. And now so many people have done that as well. So yeah, OG. Hi, OG. But yeah, I do remember, and I do remember being a prize. I was like the prize to go and get manis and petties with a couple of the contestants. I don't know who's more embarrassed about it, because I'm not, but they don't even admit it, and they don't bring it up, and they completely disavow me. And I'm like, hey kids, you know, not the really good look for you. It happened. It's on TV. It's on YouTube. It happened.
What, the whole
Not
of the
the, by the
series,
way,
or
not
just
the
your bit?
worst thing. No, not the worst thing to go get manis and petties with me. But I remember one person that they had the camera on after the fact was like, ugh, like big deal, a contest and you get to hang out with Orfeh. Life could be worse. Be a worse day in your life than to go get manis and petties with me. Get over it.
What was your general musical theatre training and background like before heading off into the industry?
This is going to really upset everybody. Zero. Absolutely nada. I will tell you what prepared me for musical theater. You know, I started in the music business. I had a record deal very young, straight out of high school. And I got to, thankfully, I had a top 40 hit. I had a #1 dance club hit. We were, we opened up for a very, very, very big group at the time. We were their opening act, and they were multi-platinum. I think they had sold 7 million CDs at the time. Their records were like one #1 hit after the other. So we got to open up for them. Therefore, we had their audiences. So we're talking a small audience on any given night was 8,000 people. So that did prepare me for the audience, the live experience. It totally knocked any nerves out of me to, for me to go from, again, a small audience on any given night was 8,000 people. So to go and play for 1,200, 2,000, 2,200 tops, you go, people would always be like, how are you so calm? How is this so, not, first of all, I am not a very nervous person to begin with, and I don't have the stage fright gene. And, I get the butterflies and I get the excitement, but performing live all over the world for, sometimes multiple times a day really honed my chops to be able to do that, to be able to deal with the rigors of live performance and maintaining your your voice for multiple performances a night. And we would, there wasn't like you didn't come out for a number and go out, go backstage or come out, do some dialogue. You're doing a whole concert, sometimes more than, again, one time a day. And it was rigorous. So I think that physically the music business got me prepped to do live shows on Broadway, but I did not go to school for musical theater. I did not train to be in musical theater. I wasn't a musical theater kid, but I was lucky enough that what I did do for a living, inadvertently, unbeknownst to me, prepared me very well for the genre I wound up spending a great deal of time in.
Drama school can prepare you for the industry to a certain extent, but nothing can prepare you as much as actually doing it. And the best training is going out and doing it. So obviously what you've done is get that stamina, get that experience doing shows, and, have, especially what you said about the stage fright, because I feel like that's such a big thing in our industry, like being nervous about going on stage and seeing people, which is silly because obviously we're performers.
But there is a nervous quote that is good for you because it keeps you on your toes and it gets your adrenaline to a place where you're in the moment. You're actively in the moment. Now, by the way, to be clear, I studied acting for 4 years, but straight acting, not bursting into songs, musical theater acting. So, it was very method. Stanislavski, Lee Strasberg, we did very heavy duty, acting. You know what I'm saying? But I had no musical theater training whatsoever. So oddly wound up in musical theater. Haven't yet done a play. So
it was meant to be.
They're scared. Oh, this musical theater actress can't do a straight play and just kind of like, not burst into song. So, but there is something. And I feel awful when people are really, really nervous where you can palpably feel how nervous they are. And I wish I could say, this is what you do. But it's like, it's like anything. You either have that. It's like you're either afraid to fly or you're not. You can't teach someone to not be afraid to fly. You either are or you're not. You know what I'm saying? So I do empathize, and I can only help, and I can only calm people down, and I can soothe them or be like the voice of calm in the storm. We always say this, you and I, but it's like trial by fire. You don't have a choice.
Okay, so tell us something funny.
Let me think. Okay. I am a notoriously ungifted cook. I don't know if people know this, but my tagline is I can't boil water. So one day I thought I'm going to cook for the group of us that were on the tour during my music business days, during Or and More, and opening up for the massively successful group that we were opening up for. And they were like, you know, we were staying somewhere, we had like an overnighter, and they were like, you know, you never cook, you never want to, you know, you don't do any of the heavy lifting. And, you know, I was like, it's because I like you. If I didn't like you, I would cook for you, right? So I was like, okay, we're going to do this. So I thought, how hard could it be to make scrambled eggs and toast? Well, apparently for me, it's a challenge. And I blew up the kitchen. I blew up the whole kitchen.
How?
The person's, because I don't know what I did. And this was many years ago, so I'm probably not as completely tragic as I was then. I think I can scramble an egg now without killing the kitchen. But apparently the apartment who were kind enough to let us stay, because it was like quick overnight or whatever, years later, they were still finding scrambled egg fragments on their ceilings, behind the cabinets. So yeah, no one ever asked me to cook again. Ever. I don't know what I had put in the skillet, but the next thing you knew, it was like popcorn flying into the sky. I said, I told you, if I like you, I will never cook for you.
Okay, right, on to the quickfire questions.
Okay.
I know. Are you
I
ready?
can't cook. No. 6.5 weeks. What? No. The search for Elle Woods.
Maddie Petties.
Maddie Petty. Who the hell is Orfeh? We don't care. What?
There's seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that I'm going to ask you, and you don't have time to think in between them. So just say the first thing that comes to your mind, and we'll discuss it afterwards. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Milk or white chocolate?
Oh, milk.
Orange or apple juice?
Orange.
Elle Woods or Paulette?
Oh, both.
East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Chocolate in the fridge or cupboard?
Cupboard.
Night or day?
Night.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Tay or Tice?
Tay.
Oh.
Tice is gonna kill me.
Right, we have one more question. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Well, it's not so much of a question, it's more of like a statement, lol. I just want you to talk a bit about like teaching. Obviously you teach on Broadway Plus, hashtag book Orfeh on Broadway Plus, broadwayplus.com/artist/Orfeh.
Oh my God.
Talk a bit about teaching on Broadway Plus. What do you love? Why do you like to teach? What sort of things can people expect if they come to one of your lessons?
Oh my gosh, you know,
Very broad.
Listen, we stumbled upon the fact that I have this, again, unlike my cooking, I do have a gift for being able to impart wisdom. So, you know, I don't want to say I'm a great teacher, but I have a wealth of experience. I've been doing all of the things that I've been doing in the entertainment business for over half my life, well over half my life. And I think that I found that I quite enjoy imparting what I've learned to others. And I'm very moved by talent, and I'm very moved by passionate young people with talent. And I did not have a great many mentors, but the mentors that I had were geniuses and very, very forthright, very giving and very smart and very gifted. And if I could only be that to even one person in my whole life that maybe 5, 10, 20 years from now remembers that that was what guided them in the right direction, that I may have had a small, teeny part in their trajectory, in their success, in their joy with it, or if I taught them something that they took with them for their whole lives, I feel like I've done something.
Thank you so much, Orfeh, for coming on here.
Thank you for having me. It's been
Lovely
so long.
I know.
Indeed.
Thank you everyone for listening. Don't
you.
forget to go to broadwayplus.com, and you can also book Orfeh. She is amazing. She's a great teacher, and she's very good at imparting wisdom, as she just said. Take her word for it.
I really am.
Just,
okay.
Just don't ask her to
I
cook.
am. Just don't ask me to cook, especially not scrambled eggs and hot sauce.
Oh, thank you all for listening, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.